So today I want to talk to you about rolling over your current 401k at your employers to your new IRA, Roth IRA at whatever vendor you decide to choose to go with to manage your money. So in this video, I'm going to tell you about the top 5 things that I've had to do to roll over my existing 401k to my new IRA. So one of the things that you have to look into first is, are there any limitations with your current plan? So for me, I had the limitation of I had to wait 30 days. So although I retired about, let's see, maybe 40 days ago, I couldn't do anything really with the money in that account for the past almost 40 days. So what I could do though was I could prepare the funds so that I'm ready to move it over exactly 31 days, the day after I got the go ahead. So for me, that meant I had like maybe 6 funds that I was invested in my 401k, and they were all proprietary funds, meaning that they didn't really have a ticker that you could track on the stock market. And that's one of the things that I really didn't like about it, is that I like to know exactly what I'm invested in. And I also like to know, for me, I choose usually Fortune 500 plans. So I want to see where my dividend's going. And I never really had that transparency with John Hancock's product. I think one of the reasons why we had a specialized proprietary fund was to keep the expense low, but I didn't really like that aspect of it. I really would prefer to be able to see exactly the companies that I'm invested in, and then see where the dividend comes in and how it's reinvested into my account. So for me, I had those kind of things behind me that really encouraged me to want to move my money out of its existing plan into my chosen plan. So 30-day restriction. I think there's also there's a restriction on how you distribute the money. So the next thing is you have to choose which company you want to invest the money with. I have a current Vanguard account, but I also, would be moving a large sum of money, so I wanted to get something out of it if possible. And I did a bit of research and found out that some companies will give you a bonus if you move a certain amount of money to their accounts. And although the company that I was looking to move my money to did not have one, they were very helpful with helping me get a bonus matching somebody else's bonus. So I was able to find one online from, I want to say it was Citigroup, that was had a current bonus until the end of the year. And as long as I send them that information, they would evaluate it. And then if possible, I would get that same bonus. And that's in fact what happened. So I was happy about that because, I'm moving the money over and I would prefer to get something for it. So that was a big deciding factor for me in terms of which vendor I chose to manage my money. And I only put in the amount that was going to allow me to get a bonus, and then the remainder would go into my Vanguard account. So the second thing was to look at my options and determine which vendor was the right vendor for me to move my 401k money to. A lot of big financial people or people that work in that industry tell you is to, never leave your money at your old company's plan. And I would say in general, that's probably, for me, that's true because like I said, it didn't give me the visibility that I was wanting. However, in retiring early, one of the bonuses that you have with leaving your money at your current employer is this rule called the Rule of 55. So if you leave your company either voluntarily or you get fired, as long as you're over 55. So if you were to say turn 55 in 2024 and you got laid off, say you were 55 in 2024 in February, and you got laid off in May, then you would qualify. So either leaving your company voluntarily or you getting fired, this rule of 55 applies if you're 55 in the year that you leave the company, separate from the company. What that allows you to do is take distributions from your 401k money without having to pay the penalty, because our current 401k and Roth all require you to be 59 and a half. And so if you're retiring early, you may not be 59 and a half. But there is a rule that if you're 55 or older, you can take out that money and not have to pay a penalty. So that's a nice kind of perk to leave money in your current 401k if in fact, you think you may need it. So I wanted to share that with you. Another thing that I was having to look into, the process in terms of rolling it over. So calling John Hancock and letting them know, okay, it's day 31 and I want to roll over my money to Schwab. I want 50% to go to Schwab and 50% to go to Vanguard. Well, one of the things that I ran into was that since I have pre-tax money, meaning that it's going into the 401k, and then I have Roth money, meaning that it's after-tax money that I've already paid the taxes on it, I have to have two separate accounts at Schwab to roll over to, which wasn't a problem. I set those up prior, so I had that 30 days. I set those accounts up knowing I was going to do this. But the problem is that you don't decide, say I wanted to transfer 60 to Schwab and 40 to Fidelity. Of that 60, I don't have the ability to say, take 50 from my IRA, my pre-tax, and the 10 from my post-tax. They take what they want. It's some rule called pro rata where they determine what the percentages will be. And so because of that, I had to take out a little bit more just in case they ended up taking more out of my Roth than I wanted them to take, just so that I met the minimum on the IRA, because that's where I was getting the bonus from, putting in a certain amount of money into the IRA. So that may not happen in your plan, but that was something that I had to deal with my plan. And, I was able to work around it, but it was just one of those kind of quirky things that you didn't know until you talked to somebody. So anyway, I was able to get both of those processed. One transaction to Schwab that amounted to 2 checks, and then one to Vanguard that amounted in 2 checks, one for the pre-tax and one for the Roth. And each one of those transactions was a $50 fee. Schwab was willing to pay me back for that $50, and then Vanguard does not. So that's kind of what happened with that. So it's a straightforward process in terms of, I didn't have to really do much. They do send you a check, and so that's where I'm at now, where they send you a check, so it's to Schwab and then for benefit of me. And so I endorse it, and then I can deposit it into my account. One of the other things that I just realized is that, so I'm getting 2 checks for each, one for Schwab and 2 checks for Vanguard. Well, I couldn't do them on the same day. I had to do them on 2 separate days, the transactions. And so what that means is that, I would have to wait an extra day to get the checks. So what I thought would be a couple of days has turned into 5 days now of waiting for the check. And I just got one today, and thank God, and it came UPS. So for my friends that are going to be experiencing this probably in the next, year or so, or sooner, you will get a check from UPS from John Hancock, I think, outsources it to another company to do this. And unfortunately, they did not include both checks in the UPS package today. So I only got 1 check. So that means tomorrow I probably will get the second one, which now means I won't actually make the deposit until Thursday. So just, another extra couple of weeks to get that process done. So just kind of wanted to share with you that, It's not a quick process. In total, it's probably going to take a month and a half in order for everything to be said and done and for me to deposit that money into my account. But I just wanted to share with you what that entire process looked like. There's, a handful of steps that you have to go through in order for it to get into your account, but nothing too difficult, nothing too challenging. Really, hopefully this video reaches the people that need to deal with something like this, and share and comment below if you have any questions. But that was the process for me and some of the things that I ran into.